Welcome to the Power Lunch Podcast, your midday dose of boldness, brilliance, and a little bit of badassery. I'm Amy Souza, here with my powerhouse co-hosts, Tracie Munce and Lisa Carmichael, and we're coming in hot to shake things up. Each week, we dish out bite-sized, high-impact conversations on business, health, purpose, wealth, and the wild, beautiful chaos in between. Whether you're building your dream, rebooting your story, or just catching your breath, this is your space to get grounded, inspired, and reignited. This isn't just another podcast, it's your power move. Let's go.
Welcome back to the Power Lunch Podcast. I'm Tracie and I have Lisa with me today. Amy is off, but we do have somebody incredibly special. So here's the thing about today's guest. I didn't meet her at a conference or through a cold introduction. I met her right here in our own community at the Glass Ceiling Foundation. And from the moment we connected, I knew she was someone special. I love her so much. Dr. Cathy Sullivan is the CEO and president of Operation Dignity International. And if you want to understand what she's built in Ghana, you first have to understand who she is as a person. Because everything Cathy does starts with relationships, not programs, not funding, relationships. She will fly across the world and sit with village leaders in Ghana and then turn around and show up for women right here in Minnesota. That's just who she is. She builds bridges wherever she goes. The reason communities in Ghana thrive in healthcare is because Cathy doesn't go in with answers. She went in with curiosity and with connection. She let the relationship lead. I love you. This is a masterclass in leadership and honestly, in how to be a human being. Cathy, we're so happy you're at this table today. Because this is exactly the conversation I want to hear, and I know our listeners do. The way that you cultivate relationships has been the thing that drew me to you. You called yourself Mama Cathy in our last episode, and you know, how do I put this? When we started Glass Ceiling Foundation, and I'm going to get choked up here, when we started Glass Ceiling Foundation, I was really in a place where I wanted to, I craved being around other women, and I needed it so much. I was the leader in my business. But from the moment I met you, I didn't really, I can see how they call you Mama Cathy, but what I felt is that I found a soul sister, a sister on this path.
Amen to that.
That may be older in age.
Wait a minute.
Maybe. I said maybe. I didn't say yes. But
it's your energy. It's
I got at least 30 years on you there.
Stop it. But that is exactly, I will tell you, my exact prayer to God was bring women into my world that are older than me so I can see examples of how I want to live as I get older. And you are such an example of a woman that I strive to be like 20, 30. Thank you for showing up at exactly the moment. We can stop crying, but I just needed you to hear that because I really, truly love you with all my heart.
We all do. I love you guys too. Thank you for those kind words, Tracie, because at the same time, you were an inspiration to me, both of you, because you were stepping out into something that was unknown. Mm-hmm. And that was the beginning. Even though you didn't call it that at that time, it was a beginning of Glass Ceiling.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I'm inspired because you've continued in that format. Few changes here and there, because you follow your heart and you can't always strategize or put in goals where your heart is taking you.
That's right.
You have to be able to be flexible through that. So I've been inspired by being around the two of you and watching you grow something that was near and dear to your heart in helping other people.
Well, I think in growth, we can't be structured. If we're so structured in what it's supposed to look like, we miss the nuances of growth. We miss the nuances of growth of this beauty. Like we think of a I think of my olive tree at my house, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if I had made that olive tree only grow in one area, I would have missed all these offshoots of these beautiful branches coming out, right? And it's almost out of control where I have to like put, I mean, it's beautiful though, the abundance of it. And, we were talking a little bit before we went on air on the direction of glass ceiling and how, it is almost like a river. Right. It feels like a river.
It's deep and wide.
Exactly. We don't want, there's going to be changes as we grow and recognize what the community needs. And what a gift, because if we were so structured and we have to do this or this is, you
need the structure. But when you realize that stream that you're talking about, that fluid and moving.
Yeah.
But it has a source, it has a beginning. And that end may be into the ocean,
right?
But it still needs boundaries as you get there. Otherwise, it could go. So there's trimming.
That's right.
And there is good pruning that goes on.
Not always easy.
No, it's never easy to go through that process.
Yeah.
But that's what keeps the river fluid.
Yeah.
In going in a very good direction all the time.
Yeah. You have made some changes in your organization in this last 2 years, just, with Jim passing and you taking the reins. Talk to us a little bit about how that has shown up in your life. How does that feel? What's it look like today? It's
the same direction and the same heart that Jim and I shared together that he led. But because I am the person that I am, I see things he did not see. Yeah. He saw people. And what a wonderful gift he gave to them to be able to see them first. Yeah. And we talked about Jim being a listener. That listening gift that he had put the people first. And he learned their story. And that story is important to us. Mm-hmm. And their dreams are important to us. But in seeing systems, what I came behind since Jim's passing was I added a different kind of solution. And it's not that Jim wouldn't have gotten there. It's just with this change, that's more who I was. But the gift he gave me is always keep the people first. Mm-hmm. Always build that relationship. Because that's going to keep you, as we were talking about the river, that's going to keep the river sustained and going in the right direction with a fluid motion all the time.
That's right. Mm-hmm. We need that. We need it moving.
Yes.
Right. You talked about, you haven't talked about, but you shared with me that you have some dignity principles that you have created or live by. Tell us a little bit about that. Because I think, I just want to back up. I think that when I heard you say that, my immediate went to values.
Yes.
And that everybody lives by a set of values.
Yep.
We don't always live by the set of values we think we're living by. We can say we're living with the value of love, yet we live in the value of what's in it for me.
What's in it for me, yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So tell us a little bit about that and how that you came up with it and
I was taught that by my husband, by people here in the United States, but also working in the communities of Ghana, because we went in with this community-minded format, that this is here for the community. It's not here for us. It's not about making us feel good. It's about helping them realize their dream. And we chose that we were going to invest in others. We were going to nurture the possibilities for them, and we were going to watch them grow so that they own the solutions, not us. In other words, when we go in and we dig a well, it's their well, it's not ours. When we build a school, it's their school, not ours. And when we open up healthcare access, it's not because it's making us feel good. It's because it's part of them finding a certain kind of dignity within the community where they live. One of the greatest things I have as that has been meaningful to me is taking trips with other Americans over to Ghana. And the first things we work on is listen more than you tell. Find their story, discover where their heart is. And it's a little bit of touching them on the hand, touching them on the arm, touching them on the shoulder, especially for healthcare people when they're taking care of them. Look into their eyes. That's not a practice in Ghana. They don't have time to take care of the person. So we get to do that as part of what we do. But in doing that often with medical people is the end result is in mind. They have a disease. I need to find that disease and create a solution. But when you listen to the story of people, this dignity arises that I began to watch unfold before my very, very eyes. And it was nothing that on the first teams that we talked about, but now if you go to Me with Ghana, we talk about that dignity-centered community, and it's looking with your eyes into the heart of someone else, listening to their story. So the dignity principles are based around that. I took a D and an I and a G and N, and I have to remember how to spell that, okay? But we took each letter, and what we did is we hope to see Americans change so that we look at people differently, not only here, but also in Ghana. Mm-hmm. It's just that Ghana happens to be the place where we can practice it and then bring it back here.
Wow. Give us an example. What's the D?
The D is dream boldly. Oof. And it's not holding yourself back on anything, but it's also allowing other people to dream their dream too.
Right.
And so for us, that solution in Ghana is we're not creating our dreams. We're allowing them to say, this is what we need. This is what we dream about. This is what we want. And yet what it does is it fulfills our dream to help them. Mm-hmm. Becomes more specific, And for us, that's the end solution for dreaming boldly is how can we help others?
Yeah.
I have this philosophy in life that helping others is less about me and more about them.
100.
But I get so much joy in doing it.
Yep.
So much of the satisfaction of seeing somebody get excited in Ghana because they have clean water. Gosh, that just brings so much joy to my heart.
Yeah. As a business owner, adding value. Yep. How can I add more value to you? Thus, it comes back to me.
It's about the bottom line. It's about correcting a bottom line.
Yeah.
That shows that value of others first.
Yeah.
Our 3 core values first, dignity always, and investing in others before we invest in ourselves.
Contribution.
Yep, contribution.
How are you filling your cup with taking care of everyone else? I hear the excitement in your voice. Mm-hmm. It almost sounds obvious to me how you're taking care of Kathy, but how do you replenish yourself?
Interestingly, most people think I'm an extrovert because I have this friendliness when I go out in crowds, but I sometimes find that exhausting. Mm-hmm. So I invest in me by sitting and thinking, and that's where some of these principles and philosophies have come to dwell within my heart because it's the perspective that makes all the difference in the world. So the bottom line to me is about perspective. So I take care of Kathy by going in those not dark places, but quiet rooms where I can listen to myself think. And that's where the joy comes from in helping others. Because I am energized by seeing lives transformed in Ghana. Mm-hmm. But in doing so, I see lives transformed here because when you come back from a trip or when you give to the, not Operation Dignity, but when you give to the people in Ghana, I want to sit and talk with you about what value brings up within you, your want to and your desire to connect with us.
I love that.
My mentor, Keith Cunningham, or one of my mentors, Keith Cunningham, talks a lot about the thinking chair and that every day he sits in his thinking chair and he has a journal right next to him, but he doesn't usually open the journal until after the 20, 30 minutes, but he just thinks. And I love that you said that because when I spend time really thinking wisely.
Mm-hmm. Yes. With perspective.
With intention.
Perspective is my word. Yeah. With intention.
Yeah. Not allowing the mind to just wander.
Right.
But with intention and perspective. And there is, I said it before, everything we need is within us.
Yes.
But many times we're searching and we're grabbing and we're looking and really if we just take time to internally go internal, it's changed
that thinking
everything.
Chair, if most people would do it and not make it about themselves,
right,
they would find something that brings excitement to their life each and every day.
Oh.
Kathy, if you could bring one lesson about connection and community from Ghana back to the women in our community, what would that be?
Curiosity. Curiosity means I get to ask you questions and learn about you. And for me, that's important in relationship building because I used to be a fixer. I'm a mom. It was natural for me. I was doing is I was opening opportunities for people. But I didn't realize that part of it, because I think 10 steps ahead of everybody else. And in opening opportunities, I thought, oh my goodness, they get to create their own reality, their own dream, their own perspective. But what I was doing was giving them the ability to do that. Yep. Love you ladies. Love being here.
You're amazing.
You. All right.
Let's go.
Thank you so much for joining us for today's episode. If something we shared sparked a new idea, gave you a fresh perspective, or simply made you feel seen, we'd love for you to pass it on. Share this episode with a friend, a colleague, or a fellow powerhouse woman who's walking her own journey. And if you haven't yet, don't forget to subscribe so you'll never miss an episode. Until next time, keep showing up, keep rising, and remember, there's no ceiling you can't break through.